Hello, my lovelies. Reverend Muriel here with the Washington and Spirituality Meetup. Hello, everybody. We kind of skipped April because I went on a trip with my children to Costa Rica. It was fabulous. I just couldn't get it all done in that month. So here we are back again in May, and we are having our next meetup this Sunday at Haleo in Crystal City. Now, this is one of my favorite restaurants. We've been there once before in this meetup, so we're going again. They serve Spanish tapas, so you can order a little or you can order a lot. Oh, and they do have mimosas, but the sangria is also very good. So, for the last couple of times, we have been discussing the four agreements, and we are now on agreement 4. But don't worry if you haven't attended the earlier meetups because we will be talking about all of them on Sunday. So come and find out about the four agreements. It's from the book by Ruiz, and it's called The Four Agreements. So you can get that book also. But let's review a little bit of the first 3 agreements. The first one, he tells us to be impeccable with our word. This is about telling the truth and about speaking only what you wish to experience. It's all about that negative self-talk and being truthful. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Hey, it's not about you really. And when we stop thinking that the other's actions are about us, man, we can relax and allow others to do their things while we do ours. The third agreement, don't make assumptions. This is all about all those stories that we make up in our heads about situations and about people. It's especially about the negative stories. So this agreement is telling us to go on and to act on what we know as fact. And what you know also intuitively. And that's as long as you know it's your intuition and not your negative self-talk talking to you. We'll talk a little bit about intuition on Sunday too. And that brings us to the fourth agreement. And the fourth agreement is very simple. It is always do your best. And what this agreement is really about is putting the first 3 agreements into practice. Well, our lives are not going to become easier. They're not going to improve if we do not practice these agreements. And I promise you that if you practice them, your life will be better. This fourth agreement tells us that we are only to do our best at any particular time. And there are so many things that affect us, how we practice these agreements or how we practice spirituality. You see, it's different every single day, which is kind of nice because you awaken every day to a new you. So this doing our best thing is only about doing the best we can do at a particular day, at a particular time. He tells us to do our best, no more, no less. He tells us if we try too hard to do more than our best, we will spend more energy than is needed. And in the end, your best will not be enough. He says that we should not judge ourselves for not doing better. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? And it's such a wise way to be, not judging yourself. How many times do you judge yourself for not being better? Not saying the right thing? Shucks, how much do you judge yourself for not being more spiritual, not having evolved spiritually more? We'll talk about that too. The spiritual path, I think, is meant to be a gentle path. And the 4 agreements are best used as gentle reminders along our way. Ask yourself, am I being impeccable with my word? No? Then make an adjustment. You can do this in the middle of the sentence as I do. I do it all the time. I hear what I'm saying and I make an adjustment. Ask, am I making any assumptions? Take that gently in and see what there is to see there. And if you are making an assumption, release that assumption. And by releasing it, you can release the tension or the angst that goes along with it. Ask yourself, am I taking things personally? Gentle reminder, people. You are not the center of the world, although you should be the center of your world. But when you remember that you're not at the center of your world, you may not take a comment so hard. You may not think that someone is looking at you funny. You may not think that you spoiled the event or the day or whatever. And what a relief that is. But if we're hard on ourselves about these agreements, we will always be in distress about not keeping them or not keeping them well or not keeping all of the agreements. Please use these agreements gently and see if they improve your experience in the world. When I remember them, and I don't always remember them really, well, when I do remember them, it frees me from being so emotional. It gets some of my stuff out of the way. With the agreements, when I practice them, when I remember them, when I'm gentle with myself, I can let things go. I can surrender to not knowing why a person said or did something, and then I can let it go. I can speak only what I mean and reap the rewards of attracting more good into my lives. Yep. Keep these agreements, but take it easy. Go easy on yourself. If you only use these agreements to learn how to be easy on yourself, they will prove to be of great value to you. So, we'll talk about all these matters on Sunday over mimosa and perhaps sangria and perhaps sparkling water. So if you signed up for our meetup on Sunday, I hope to see you there. I hope you will be impeccable with your word and honor your word of saying that you will show up. I think there's at least one opening left so that if you haven't signed up but want to come, you can still do so. And me, I can't wait to have some gazpacho soup and see all your lovely faces. Oh, and in July, and maybe even also in August, we're going to go all the way through the summer, people. We will be talking about forgiveness. Whew! That is a biggie. We will start out discussing why we should forgive and end up discussing how to forgive. And it's one thing to know you should, but how do you do it? In these discussions, we will be talking about one of my favorite books, and it's called Radical Forgiveness. If you want to read ahead, go get that. And we will be experiencing one of my favorite practices, and that is called Ho'oponopono. Look it up on Google. It's spelled just like it sounds. So, stay tuned. Bye for now.